Hello people of the world, and welcome to today's episode of Coffee Chats with Jax. To be honest with you guys, I have had a really tough past couple weeks. I was supposed to make this video yesterday. I actually sat in front of my camera and started recording and started talking, and I didn't really know what I was doing and I didn't know where I was going with it because I felt emotionally drained. And now all of a sudden I kind of feel like my depression and anxiety, like I said before, are coming back a bit and I don't know what to do. For today's video, I kind of want to talk about just having compassion and grace for yourself in the hard times, because that's something that I really struggle with. As I've said so many times, I'm the person that feels like I have to have the smile on my face in order to be wanted around. I learned recently that not only do I think other people only have room for me if I'm happy and excited, but I think I have only allowed myself to have room for me if I am a happy, joyful, content person. That's really sad because we're supposed to be our biggest allies, you know? Like, I've said this so many times, but when I look in the mirror, I want to love who I see. And I get really impatient with myself when I'm going through a hard time. I get really embarrassed and ashamed, and I don't really let people in on that until it's like down to it and it's a make it or break it situation. But you guys, depression's a real thing, and it happens to so many more people than I think we realize. And a lot of the times it's behind a big fat smile. And I'm starting to try and see it differently. You see, I've been talking to my therapist about it a lot. And she is trying to help me understand that depression is something that kind of makes sense for someone who's been through trauma. And it's really hard for me to see it that way, as far as like it being a coping mechanism, survival strategy, because it's like when I'm having my really dark, depressed days, I tend to pull myself away from my people, I pull myself away from my friends, and I just don't feel like I could do anything. I just kind of feel like all I have energy for is laying down, and I get tunnel vision, and it's hard. And I feel like nobody cares about me. Nobody loves me. And I know that that's all a lie. Like, logically, I know that's not true. But it's hard because when you're in that state and you're having like that dark day in your heart, it just feels impossible to get out on the other side of it. But when I think about when depression started for me and what kind of traumatic experiences happened, they were all very relational. Most of my traumas in my life happened from people, unfortunately. And the tricky thing about that is the antidote, in my opinion, and in lots of people's opinion, is relationship, is people, is connection. Like, I would say that just as much as the next guy. But it's really hard because where I've been hurt in the past has been from people. And so our brains kind of, without us really knowing, develop these strategies that in real terms we know harm us. But our brain, it's its way of trying to protect our body. Whether that makes sense, whether I believe that or not, I'm just trying to have compassion for myself. I'm trying to understand why my brain works the way that it does, so that I don't get annoyed and hate myself on the bad days, because that just makes it worse. So I want to encourage you guys out there watching this video that if you get annoyed with yourself during your bad mental health days, or if you think lesser of yourself because you struggle with anxiety or depression or any kind of other mental thing, because we all have something, make space for yourself and have compassion. It's hard. It's harder said than done, and I'm not there yet. I'm at the beginning of the process. I want to make sure you guys know that I'm not making this video saying that I'm all healed and done and that's the truth, because it's not. But it's what I'm learning and it's where I'm at, and I've found that there's something really, really special and powerful about sharing where you're at right now without the pretty bow and the pretty picture, because I sometimes feel really guilty when I have something hard to say and I don't have a pretty bow to tie at the end of it. I feel like it's my responsibility to make light of hard things in my life, at least, so that I don't become a burden on somebody else. And in many ways, that is just not helpful for my own sanity. That is not helpful for my own mental health, for my own emotional well-being. It's okay to have a hard time, and that's a journey that I think I'm going to learn for my whole entire life. I don't know if I'll ever come out on the other side of that, but as much as it seems like I'm making this video to remind you, I'm really making this video to remind me that it's okay to not be okay. I feel like once we have compassion for ourselves and space and patience for ourselves in that hard time, that's when we're going to be able to have compassion and space for other people. That's how our emotional intelligence is going to grow, and we're going to be able to help other people feel safe and heard and seen and not rushed out on the other side of pain. It's different for everybody. It's a process for everybody, and I don't want to stay there, but I also know that I can't just skip it and move on without it and pretend it's not existed, because That's not true. Sometimes we have hard days and sometimes there's not really a reason for them. We just do. But we don't have to hate ourselves for it. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for caring about what I have to say. If you're interested in reading my book, Finding Home, I just dropped the price on it by 20%. There's a link where you can pick up a copy in the description box below. If you appreciate these videos and you want to support what I'm doing as an independent writer, speaker, vlogger, yada, 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 go to patreon.com/JackieGTV. That's where you can get more involved and you can support me for as little as $1 a month. That would mean the world to me. Thank you, and I will see you guys next time.